Is there a good reason to or not to learn about other religions?
Yeah, well, this answer won't be very popular. I'm sure it will offend some people, but I guess we're used to that. You know, actually, we're warned in the New Testament literature, we're warned against even letting people in our houses that want to persuade us towards something else. I mean, if you look in Colossians, for example, other philosophies, ways of life are called empty. They're called empty deceit, empty deception. Religions have rules, and those rules in Colossians are called useless. In fact, they do nothing to restrain sensuality. So it's interesting that we're in a funny business here because Christianity is really not a religion. Maybe you've thought about that. Of course, lots of Christians kick around this phrase, you know, Christianity is not a religion, it's a relationship. And that's true. But we really need to figure out what that means. What that means, I think, is that rules and things like rules are not really to be the motivation for Christians, that we are actually committing adultery when we do that. We're committing spiritual adultery. We're cheating on Jesus. That's what I like to say. We're cheating on Jesus in favor of some kind of rule-based system to keep our behavior on track when He jealously desires to be the one that's motivating our behavior, and we don't need rules. So the thing for me, Chip, is, I mean, first of all, you've got the legitimacy or illegitimacy of other religions, first of all. I mean, that's obvious and apparent. But secondly, you know, religions have one thing in common, and that is that they are basically a rule-based, rule-upon-rule-based performance changing, you know, performance enhancement system, behavior improvement system. I mean, that's what they're designed to do, so that then God will smile at you and you can go to heaven. And Christianity is flip-flopped. God smiles at you first. He says, my face is toward you. I'll never leave you nor forsake you. Now go walk, go live, go about your life. So it's flip-flopped. I mean, religion is doing in order to be, and doing in order to appease God. And then Christianity is saying, my God's appeased. I mean, He was appeased through the cross, totally satisfied. That's what propitiation means. So my God was propitiated. He was pleased. He's finished with my condition. And therefore, I stand before Him in a perfect condition. And I haven't even lifted a finger yet. And so now I live from that condition. So that's really at the core what's wrong with other religions, besides the fact that they're called empty deception and that there's false gods and all those things. I mean, that's first of all, but then secondly, you can just see the rules that all of them have in common, and that's not what Christianity is.
So there's really no benefit in learning about them, or even possibly a trap there?
Well, it depends on what setting. I mean, obviously, if you're in school and you're earning a degree and there's religion courses that you can take and you're interested in finding out about other religions, I don't think you want to just run for the hills and not be able to relate to anybody. That's pretty much intellectual suicide. I guess the point I'm trying to make, though, is that why would you invest from a personal standpoint in other religions if they, according to the Scriptures, are only going to trip you up? I mean, this isn't my opinion. I mean, don't look at me as a closed-minded person. If I'm a Christian, I'm supposed to be this way. I mean, Jesus said, no one comes to the Father except through me. That's not my opinion. No one comes to the Father except through you, Jesus. You know, Paul says there's one name under heaven by which we can be saved. One name under heaven. So what about the name then? Can't I just go by a God of another name? No, apparently there's one name under heaven by which we can be saved. So, you know, Christians get nailed for being exclusive. You know, Christians get accused of being exclusive. And you're right to accuse us of that. We are exclusive. But not because we want to be or because we're excited about that or something of that nature. It's just that for some reason, God in His divine wisdom has chosen to present Himself to humanity through the person of Jesus. And Jesus says, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. And that means if you go see somebody else, you haven't seen the Father. There's one name under heaven, and no one comes to the Father but through me. So what do you do with that if you're a Christian? Well, you swallow it. You buy into it wholeheartedly. and then you live with that, and you just, I guess you thank God that you're in Christ, and let the chips fall where they may, and let God be God. I don't know what else to say there, Chip, except that I think that ultimately we, as Christians, need to be proud of what Jesus did for us and claim Him as the Messiah and the only Messiah. And, apart from Him, we can do nothing.